बतुफैल रसूल सकलैन
या रब बतुफैल रसूल सकलैन
या रब बतुफैल फातह बदरुनैन
या रब बतुफैल फातह बदरुनैन
इस्यान मरा दो हिस्सा कुंदर जरसात नीमे बहसन बबख्शनी में बहुसैन या राहिम या रहमान या आदिल या दज्जाल या राहिम या रहमान या आदिल या दज्जाल या हाफिज या सत्तार या वाहिद या गफ्फार या हाफिज या सत्तार या वाहिद या गफ्फार या मालिक या रज़्ज़ाक़ तू खालिक हर खल्लाक
या मालिक या रज़्ज़ाक़ तू खालिक हर खल्लाक
चाहा न सरबत मांगो। तुम अहले मोहब्बत हो मोहब्बत मांगो। तुम अहले मोहब्बत हो मोहब्बत मांगो। हर हाल में थामे हुए दामान रज़ा, अल्लाह से अल्लाह की रहमत मांगो। या हय्यो या कय्यूम, या हय्यो या बसर
अल्लाह
तू मालिक बहरोबर
अल्लाह
आजिज खाक बसर तू
अल्लाह
मालिक बहरोबर बंदा पुर तकसीर तेरे हाथ मेरी तकदीर बंदा पुर तकसीर तेरे हाथ मेरी तकदीर मैं यहाँ करती रखा तू वारिस हफ्तफलाक मैं यहाँ करती रखा
तू वारिस हफ्तफलाक
तू हाकिम में महकूम तू हाकिम में महकूम
या हय्यो या कय्यूम या हय्यो या कय्यूम या हय्यो या
तुझ में हूँ बहू है
खुदा का नूर, खुदा का नूर तुझ में हूबहू है।
खुदा बिना मगर तू रूबरू है
खुदा बिना तू रूबरू है।
तेरी अजमत का अंदाजा हो किसको खुदा है और खुदा के बाद तू है ऐ सरवरे दुनिया होती
ऐ सरवरे दुनिया होती
तेरी
निराली शान है। सरवरे दुनिया होती तेरी निराली
तेरी निराली शान है
सरवरे हुस्ने अज़ल सूरत तेरी हुस्ने अज़ल
तुझ पे जहां कुर्बान है
सूरत तेरी हुस्ने अज़ल तुझ पे जहां कुर्बान तेरी हुस्ने अज़ल तुझ पे जहां कुर्बान है
मंगतों का रख भरम
मंगतों का रख भरम मंगतों का रख
सारे पा मा मा पा दा पा मा पा दा पा मा 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 गा रे पा मा गा रे सा
दुनिया होती तेरी निराली शान है।
अलीमान मनस्तु मनम गुलाम अली
अलीमा में मनस्ता मनम गुलाम अली।
हजार जान गिरामी फिदाए नाम अली मन कुल तो मौला
हे मन तो मौला, हे मन तो मौला।
मन कुल तो मौला
ताना
रे मगा रे सारे गा रे सा नी दा नी सा यही तो पांच हैं मकसूद कायनात, खैरुन्निसा हुसैन हसन मुस्तफा अली मौला अली मौला मौला अली मौला मौला अली मौला मौला अली फख्रे कौनो मकाम मुईनुद्दीन हो करम की नजर,
हो करम की नजर, चिश्त के ताजवर, हो करम की नजर, चिश्त के ताजवर, ख्वाजाए ख्वाजगां ख्वाजा हिंदल वली, हो करम की नजर, चिश्त के ताजवर, ख्वाजाए ख्वाजगां ख्वाजा हिंदल वली, हो करम
sa 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 ma ma pa pa ga ma da da ni pa ma ba ni pa ga ma sa re sa ma pa ni da ni da ma pa ga ma de la ni ba ma ba ni ba da ni da ni da pa ni ma pa da da pa ni ma pa da da pa ni ma pa da da tu daleel walayat ki tanveer hai tu daleel walayat ki tanveer hai tu Muhammad ke jalwon ki tafsir hai tu Muhammad ke jalwon ki tafsir hai tu daleel walayat ki tanveer hai tu Muhammad ke jalwon की तफसीर है तू खुदा तो नहीं पर खुदा की कसम तू खुदा तो नहीं पर खुदा की कसम है खुदा का निशान ख्वाजा हिंदल वली तू खुदा तो नहीं पर खुदा की कसम है खुदा का निशान ख्वाजा हिंदल वली तू खुदा तो नहीं पर खुदा की कसम है खुदा का निशान ख्वाजा हिंदल वली आसरा है गरीबों का घर आपका आसरा है गरीबों का घर आपका आसरा है गरीबों का घर आपका गरीबों का घर आपका सजदा का है जहां संगे दर आपका सजदा का है जहां संगे दर आपका है निशान हरम है जबी का भरम है निशान हरम है जबी का भरम आपका आस्था ख्वाजा हिंदल वली है निशान हरम है जबी का भरम आपका आस्था ख्वाजा हिंदल वली ओ करम की नजर जिस्म के ताजवर ख्वाजाए खाजगा ख्वाजा हिंदल वली
But tell me, just what is it that you want to do?
Well, we want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do. We want to be free to ride. And we want to be free to ride our machines without being hassled by the man. And we want to get loaded. And we want to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do.
Well, when, baby? Let's go.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a party.
This year, the judges of the Cannes Film Festival presented the award Best Film by a New Director to Easy Rider. It's the story of a man who went looking for America and couldn't find it anywhere. Easy Rider stars Peter Fonda.
It's not every man that can live off the land, you know. You do your own thing in your own time. You should be proud.
Also starring Dennis Hopper, the award-winning director of Easy Rider.
Man, look, I gotta get out of here, man. We got things we want to do, man. Like, I gotta get out of here, man.
Co-starring Jack Nicholson.
They got this here, see, Scissor Happy Beautify America thing going on around here. They're trying to make everybody look like Yul Brynner. You know, this used to be a hell of a good country. I don't understand what's going on with it.
Everybody got chicken, man. That's what happened.
Hey, you got it wrong?
I never really thought of myself as a freak, you know. But I love to freak.
No, man. This is grass.
You mean marijuana?
Look like a bunch of refugees from a guerrilla love-in.
Oh, I just can't believe. What are they doing here?
I don't never know, but I don't think they'll make the parish line.
Hey, Lord, look at them goons. Hold on, Simon. We'll scare the hell out of them.
They're not scared of you. They scared of what you represent to them.
Hey, man. All we represent to them, man, is somebody who needs a haircut.
Oh, no. What you represent to them is freedom.
What the hell's wrong with freedom, man? That's what it's all about.
It's been my experience that your movie Easy Rider has made a lot of young people, myself included, very, very suspicious of old people. I mean, I was hitchhiking around the United States for a few months, and very often I felt like I was going to get murdered. And I didn't really think there was a rational reason for it, except for sort of a mood that I really think was created by your movie. I met a lot of people, and when we talk sort of about fears hitchhiking, your movie would always come up. Could you comment on that? I mean, does it at all concern you that you might be creating that kind of feeling?
Oh yeah, it concerned me before I made the movie. Spiro Agnew, huh? Well, I think he just confuses the issue. And although what you felt about my flick and the way it affected you is valid for you, it's not necessarily what I had to say or Dennis had to say. We had no intention of turning young people against old people. As a matter of fact, we very rarely got into the old person problem, with the exception of the goons who finally kill us and beat up Jack Nicholson. We presented the problem in our own way. We were young people. Our problem was looking for freedom, and our answer was not found. We had nothing to do with freedom. Riding motorcycles and smoking dope and all that had nothing to do with freedom. Our whole trip had nothing to do with freedom. And that's what it was all about, you know. Nothing about the old and the young. I'm sorry that you have a bum feeling hitchhiking, but I tell you, I fly only because it's faster. And I have a bum feeling flying. And it's not about dropping out of the sky like a rock. It's I know what's going on down below. You may excuse it as part of my movie that makes you feel that way. But it would take us a long time, but I could describe to you what fear is and where it originated from, and I may have stimulated it in you about this country and what could happen to somebody just footloose on the road. But that was true a long time ago, and will probably be true for a long time, or at least another 3.5 years. Was that interesting? Was that a confusing question and answer thing? It was? Yeah. That's all right.
Let's try it again. You have another question.
That's beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
man, boogie.
Over here.
If you can't hear me too well, I have a very bad cold, and you'll have to excuse that. Energy. Water.
There's acid in it.
There's no acid in it, no. 72% of our body, pure water. I have a feeling it has something to do with energy.
First of all, was Easy Rider originally written as a script, or did you just grab the camera and start shooting? Did you have a script?
It was a full script.
It was a full script?
Mm-hmm. It originated just as an idea that popped into my bird when fear wasn't acting there.
The other question I had a couple.
Bogey.
I've heard the Easy Rider being referred to as the modern Western, heading east on motorcycles. Could you make a comment on that? That's
Sure. Dennis and I always wanted to make Journey to the East, and we couldn't get the property from the Hesse family. And as a matter of fact, we wanted to do a Western because the Western was the best form for drama and tragedy. But we had to, we felt we wanted to do it this way. The images were important. Motorcycles, machinery, all the flag stuff and the chrome. It has more of a statement about what's happening today in a theater that's not removed like Greek theater is. Although it's funny, I just did finish a Western, but it has its own things for me. I did it for myself, you know. And I did Easy Rider for myself, and Dennis and everybody else who did it. But it was intended to be like a Western. It was intended to have that same kind of flow and frontier feeling.
The last question I wanted to ask you was, I read your the article in Playboy magazine, and
so did Al Cap. Did you read it? Far out.
But you seem to have gotten into, for lack of better words, an ecology kick, expressing ideas of what you saw happening in the future, and I was wondering what you thought might be the possibility of film and having effect on people's outlook on what is happening in this country, and maybe with the ecology trip or whatever trip you would like to talk about, really.
Well, knowing how long it takes to make a movie, I think it's a waste of time to concentrate on this country. Even though this country is a microcosm, well, not even that, it's greater than that, of what's going on all over the globe. And it's not a kick, the way I feel about ecology. I may have been glib or I may have been edited to sound glib about my ecology stance. I'm quite militant about it. I have children, and there won't be any water for them to drink in a few years. No, that does not sound like, I mean, you know, I don't mean to sound joking or anything like that at all. I'm very serious about it. I want to boogie out of this place. I think you're all fools for wasting your energies this way. In a way, I don't mean to insult you, but there are teachers that give you classes that you should be asking questions to, and not people like me. And my sister's out talking to a lot of people doing stuff. She says power to the people and the Black Panthers, but she doesn't understand there won't be any water or air. She thinks I'm a romantic for saying that. Well, I'm not a romantic, and there won't be any water or air.
All right, can we go on to have a next question, please?
I hate to change the subject from your ecology trip, but I've got two questions about Easy Rider. First of all, is it true that like a lot of the scenes turned out to be just ad-lib things, like the scene in the restaurant with those chicks and everything? And I heard that a lot of the scenes were really not meant to be filmed, but they actually happened, and they just turned out being in the picture.
Well, the scene in the restaurant, written in the script, says that we come in, and there's some girls at a table drinking Dr. Peppers or whatever. And there's some other guys sitting at other booths and tables, and they start making comments about us. And we wait to be served or have somebody ask us for something or to get something to drink and eat. If we don't get served and the hostilities grow, this is what's written in the paper. The people say things like, look at their hair. Boy, they smell. And the girls giggle and ask us if they can go for a ride. That was the extent of scene number 56A or whatever the thing was in the script. When we walked into the restaurant, which Dennis had gone in before, and he liked it because of the mirrors. He could lay a dolly track and show two things happening at once. There was a bunch of guys sitting there. The girls had already been, told to come. But there was a bunch of guys sitting there who didn't know about it. And we walked in, just like you saw us in that flick. And this guy said, hey, look at that guy there with that long hair. They're talking about Dennis because he was really the most outrageous of us all. I can smell him. Can you smell him? So in a way it was an ad-lib sequence, but in a way it was written. And it's been written before.
My other question was, in the very first scene in the movie, when, you know, like in order to get the money to make this trip, you guys went on wherever you went to Mexico or whatever it was there a purpose behind, like, you're selling dope to get the money? Was there, like, a little reason in there or something? Or was, you know, like, I was wondering why you incorporated this into your way to get money. Was there any specific reason for it?
It's considered an immoral act to traffic in narcotic drugs, although we never said what it was. It was supposed to be cocaine. That's Dennis and me, because we find cocaine a romantic drug, a narcotic. It breaks the blood vessels in your brain, and
then, like, would
it's
you
also
be
a poison.
Would you be saying then that your whole ambition for the whole trip was an immoral thing? Because, like, you're saying, like, it was an immoral thing to start with.
An exposure of the American dream is an immoral thing. Make a lot of money no matter who goes down, and then retire.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there's a story that goes around that when you decided to make Easy Rider. Well, I heard this from one of the chairman of the film department here. He was saying that it happened at a meeting where Jack Valenti was talking to some of the filmmakers, and he said that there were too many movies which had sex, violence, drugs, motorcycles, and what they needed was more movies such as Dr. Dolittle.
That's true. As a matter of fact, I taped that whole thing.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
That's true, then.
I had a big shotgun mic and a Nagra, and I sat there pointing it right at him.
And, well, I'd like you to comment a little bit on that. And secondly, if that is true, I understand that you did make your film on a very low budget, and this would tend to indicate a new trend for filmmaking